welcome to another edition of Maximizing Your Potential. I'm Michael McFadden, aka Pilot Mike, and this is the flight deck. Today's flight plan: preparation for success. You know, we're nearing the end of the first quarter of this year, and I guarantee you some of you are feeling frustration. You probably already crashed and burned. Set those goals, start off like gangbusters, but somewhere along the line you've taken a decline and you've crashed and burned. You fell off the wagon, you're in the trees. Well, that's a part of the process of success. But one of the things that you have to understand in this process of going from one level to the next, in this process of trying to take your life into a new dimension, in this process of trying to get to a new station, to accomplish your dreams, to move from one condition in life to another, is that you are in transition. And there's some critical things I've learned as a pilot that you have to know about transition. We have something that we do in piloting as a practice method for staying current and keeping our skills sharp. And it's called a touch and go. And we do it basically, it's a process of practicing your takeoffs and your landings. But if you have a long enough runway, you can do something called a touch and go, which basically means you come in for a landing, and instead of taxiing around and going back to the end of the runway and then taking off again for another takeoff, you do a touch and go. And that basically means you come in a landing, you touch down, and then you immediately take back off. And that's a transition. You're bringing your life from one station and then you're taking it up to another. That's where most of us are as we begin to come to the end of this first quarter. We've been trying to transition. We've been trying to lose weight. We've been trying to write that book. We've been trying to get our business started. And as we try to move from one station to another, as we try to transition, we run into some difficulties. Well, there's something that you need to do. We call it clean up. And you've got to clean up. You see, what happens when you are landing, you have certain things that you do to the plane that put you in a condition to land. One of those things is you have your flaps down. And what flaps does is create drag. And that drag helps to bring you down. One of the challenges that you have to deal with in transition is you've got to clean up your flaps. See, once we do that touch and go, the first thing we've got to do is clean up. Part of the cleanup process is we got to pull up those flaps quickly, because the thing that brought us down won't allow us to take off. That's right. You've got to clean up your environment. There's some things holding you down that's knocked you off your course. There's some people in your environment. There's some thought processes in your environment. There's some habits in your environment that you've got to clean up and clean out, because those things have brought you down and they're holding you down. Just your disposition, your mood may be down. You've got to do some things to change your mood. You've got to do some things to get in a better state of mind in order to transition and take off to the next level. And one of those other things that you have to do is you have to clean up your engines, if you will. One of the things that we do in landing, and this actually almost cost me an accident one day. I almost crashed in the trees because I failed to do this particular procedure. And I think it's critical. It's also something that you've probably failed to do too. One of the things that we do on landing is if you're in a carbureted airplane, is we put in the heat, what we call carb heat, to keep the carburetor from freezing up, because you don't want those engines to freeze up on your landing. And so when you come down and do that touch and go, you've got to clean up not only your flaps, but you got to clean up that carb heat too. You got to take it out. Well, one day I was trying to ascend and I forgot to take out the heat, and I kept waiting for that airplane to climb and climb, and the trees were coming at me, and I was like, wow, why isn't she climbing? Why am I not, getting to the next level? That's how some of us feel. Why am I'm working hard, but I'm not getting there? Well, my engines weren't at max capacity because that heat going into the carburetor was affecting the performance of my engine. you've got some things affecting the performance of your engine too. If you're going to transition to the next level, you've got to have max power. You can't have anything diminishing the power of your engine. Your engine has to be functioning at max capacity. One of the things that's throwing heat into your carburetor and not giving you the full combustion that you need is that you're not on purpose. You're not actually pursuing the thing that gives you passion. See, once we've encountered a few failures, which I've shared with you that problems are part of what it takes to succeed. Once we've hit a few problems, once we've had a few failures, we stop reaching for lofty goals and we start downsizing our goals and we start downsizing our dreams. And when you downsize your dream, you know, there's a saying, dream big, for small dreams have no power to stir men's blood. That's right. See, once you start downsizing, you're throwing heat into your engine. You're throwing heat to that carburetor and you're losing the combustibility, the power that is in your engine. You're diminishing that power. You've got to dream big. You've got to stop playing small, and you've got to get involved in a thing that really gives you passion, because if you're going to transition and take off, you're going to need max power in your engine. I promise you, if you get a big enough dream that excites you, that thing that really will get you going, that's going to give you the momentum. See, sometimes we're doing things for all the wrong reasons, but if you get the right reason, when you get the right why, I think Nietzsche said, when the why is big enough, the how doesn't matter. And so we've got to practice cleaning up right now if we're going to transition towards success. In preparation for success, that thing that brought you down, you got to make sure you clean that up so you can take off. This is Michael McFadden, aka Pilot Mike, saying, keep your throttles on full. I'll see you somewhere over the horizon. Wheels up.